Welcome to Restoring Your Voice, where I'm here to restore, prepare, and equip you. Alrighty then, welcome everybody to this episode of Restoring Your Voice on the 1st of June, 2023. And it's like, oh, you don't normally do it on Thursdays. This is the new schedule. I said it was going to come. I didn't know exactly when, but this is just FYI, the new schedule, right? I'm trying to do shows all week now. I just spread them out. So instead of doing, for instance, 2 shows on Tuesday, I was doing the YouTube exclusive Bible-based Q&A and another show. But now I've spread it out where I only do um, oh, uh, one show a day. So, but hey, it gives you more content, right? And that reminds me, right, by the way, right, I'm streaming this on Facebook as well. This is out on Facebook, it's out on Twitter right now. Hey, if you want to participate in the exclusive YouTube exclusive Bible-based Q&A, that means you have to head over to the YouTube channel. The name you see down there, David C. McGuire, and then you can participate. So there's that. So also. So I haven't received any input from any of you on what you would like to see on Friday's show. Like what would you like a Friday show to be geared towards specifically? So as of right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate Fridays to a specific topic for you to ask questions about. Right? I know we do I do a general Q&A at times, but this time around, I'm gonna so like tomorrow. So any end times question you have, all right, you can ask it there. Anything from the rapture, what the Bible has to say about that, to the tribulation, when is the wrath of God? How does that all play out? The book of Revelation, anything like that at all. I mean, literally anything end times related. I'm gonna you can ask that question tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to dedicate it to. But any ideas that you have, I would be more than willing to welcome them. So that all out of the way. So as you guys know, this is the 1st of June. I already said that, but you know that it's beginning of Pride Month, right? Set forth by the our government. Okay, so this is the beginning of Pride Month. Now, mind you, I forgot that it was going to be today when I scheduled the show. Now I want to do every show that I do under the unction of the Lord, right? I don't want to do any topic, cover anything that the Lord doesn't want me to cover, because it's just going to be empty words. It's going to be dead. It's going to be worthless. Things like that. So I always seek the Lord's face. What do you want me to talk about? That's what, and then that's what I'll talk about. So earlier in the week, he impressed upon me what he wants me to cover. So that's what I'm covering. I scheduled it out today. Then I realized, oh, wow, the Lord's perfect timing. He wants me to cover this topic. And it just happens to be the beginning of LGBTQ Pride Month, in case you're wondering what exactly prideful over. I mean, never mind that pride is dangerous, but I only know what the Bible says. So if you disagree, I'll take your questions on pushing back against the agenda today. So if you have any questions on pushing back against the agenda, how you should do it, what that should look like, maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you don't think we need to push back. Maybe you think I'm a homophobe. Well, go ahead, put that there. Let's discuss it. The only thing I ask, if we disagree, let's disagree amicably. That's all I ask, right? So you want to get nasty, then that's your choice, but just realize that I'm going to kindly show you the door if you decide to go down that road. So like I said, I will take any questions, any address any comments on this. Like I said, hey, you think I'm a homophobe? Call me out on it. You think that Jesus didn't speak against homosexuality? Well, or transgenderism or any of that type of stuff? Challenge me on it. Go for it. I'm not afraid. All right. I'm not afraid of criticisms. I'm not afraid of whatever it may be. So this is your chance now. Okay, this is your chance while I'm live on air to do it. All right, don't try to come at it later. Okay, and you say, well, you just shut me down. No, I gave you a chance. Okay, gave you a chance. So I guess the first thing though I want to come up about well, first let me say the title is Consecrated or Compromised, right? If I had to give this a subtitle, I would put Pushing Back Against the LGBTQ Agenda. That's what I would do. So I want to point this out. Okay, I'm not targeting people. Okay, I'm not attacking people. When I'm attacking, when I'm pushing back, what I'm telling you to push back against, to attack, is an idea, is an ideology, not a people. Remember that we are pushing back against a demonic agenda, not the people. Right? There's a difference. We can attack an agenda, a belief system, things like that, but we don't attack the people. Okay, remember that, right? This is what the Bible says in Ephesians 6:12. I want you to remember this. And it says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places," right? And we know elsewhere in the Bible says that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Correct? Correct? Oh, you got no notification, Brandon? Yeah, I probably got shadow banned. I don't care. I've been dealing with nonsense from the LGBTQ people all day long. I've been trying to delete comments. I had to turn the comments off on a Facebook post of mine, not because they rile me up, but I'm not going to waste my time deleting comments and banning people either. So there you go. But yeah, if you think I'm being shadow banned, I need your help. Click that like button right now. All right, go click that thumbs up button right now. Right, and it'll get pushed out, help get pushed out there. Every time you interact in the chat, by the way, every time you post a comment, ask a question, whatever it may be, guess what? It pushes this up. I mean, you think, well, so in case you're wondering, do what if I say something in the chat, does it have any effect? Yeah, actually it has a huge effect. It actually gets this content pushed out there, by the way. You could also share it. If you think, help me out there. Click that share button and share on your social media platforms, wherever you're at. Okay, that would also be a very big help. Right, a small thing for you to do, but just letting you know that every interaction is actually a great help. So every like, every share, every comment. So appreciate your help in this matter. I can't express how greatly I appreciate it. So yeah, I just want to, because people, the reason why I'm doing this is because people come out and attack the LGBTQ people themselves, right? And we can delve into nastiness, delve into name calling, insulting, things like that. Okay, that's not how we conduct business. That is not how Christians conduct business. That is not what we show the world. Okay, we don't do that. Okay, believe me. You say, well, how would you know? Blah blah blah. Well, I've been around plenty of gay people for one. Okay, been around plenty of times. All right, doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me in the least. Okay, I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna show them love, right, while speaking truth to them as well. But I'm not gonna come out and attack them. Okay, I'm not gonna call them names. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna give you examples on air. Right? We have to come at this the way God wants us to. If you consider yourself a Christian, right? If you call yourself a Christian, then you are going to come at it the way God commands you, regardless of anything else, right? I like what you said, Brandon. I'm gonna put that up on the screen real quick here. He says it feels like their warfare is becoming more carnal, and it is, and our warfare must become more spiritual. Lord help us, right? Exactly. And the reason I posit this, that their warfare that is carnal is having such an effect in becoming more carnal, is because we are becoming less spiritual, right? We are the ones that are becoming compromised in things. You say, well, what do you mean by that? Look, it's quite simple, right? If we, let's see, I'm just trying to look at my notes here. I think I put some of them backwards, but that's okay. It's pretty simple. We'll say, I'll use a couple examples, right? You'll have somebody has to come out and inspect your house if you buy a house. For all of us who have bought homes, you have to get an inspection done, right? If you buy a new home, you don't have to get an inspector to come out, but it's already been inspected. Why? Because they're checking to make sure everything is up to standard, right? Up to code, if you will. Correct? Why? Why? Because they make to make sure there's not going to be any electrical fires, um, things like that. Or if you get a car, maybe if you're in Texas like I am, or maybe in another state, you have to get a safety inspection done, right? They check the tires, they check other things. Is it safe? Is it okay to drive? Because if there's not, I'll give you an example. I recently had to re-register our minivan, right? And the front right tire um, had a bulge in it. And they explained to me if I don't get it replaced right then and there, right, it's gonna cause a blowout while I'm driving, right? In other words, the tire was compromised, and if I didn't do something about it, down the road, guaranteed something bad was gonna happen. Though that's exactly the place we, the church in America, are in right now at this very moment. You say, well, I don't do that, right? Well, I know that, but we are still part of the church, right? You're still part of, we're all part of the same body of Christ. Like it or not, we're all in it together, right? And we know where Paul talks about, like, if one grieves, we should all grieve. Shouldn't this cause you to grieve, right? Shouldn't the fact that, I mean, think about it. Also, let's look at it this way, okay? You're securing a location for however you want to look at it, right? But let's say your house, you're securing your house, right? If you like me, you have a family of 7, but one person decides not to lock the back door, but we have 6 other people in our household. Well, it's that one person that caused the thief to come in. See what I'm saying? Things like that. But I'm just trying to get you to wrap your head around that. That though it may not be you as a cause of the problem, but others, however, are bringing this stuff in. Others are compromised, and I'm going to say, hey, stick around because you may not think you're the one compromised, but what I'm about to talk about, you may very well point out that you may actually be compromised. And I'm not trying to point this out in a way to attack you, but to equip you for the good works of Christ, right? I mean, you see here on your screen, if you're watching, of course, you can't see anything if you're listening by audio podcast. But you see where the tagline is restore, prepare, and equip, right? Restore, prepare, and equip. So we can all be better equipped. We all need our blind spots to somebody else to expose our blind spots. That's why they're called blind spots. That's why we need other brothers and sisters in the Lord, right? That's why we need community. We all need. I mean, when I say we, I really mean we. I mean me too. But what does the Bible say about this kind of thing, right? Well, look. One of the main points I'm going to drive home today is boycotting and Christians giving money to businesses we don't need to. So, but let me get into that in a second. But I want first one a point I want to say here is we cannot push back against the agenda while giving money to it. Right? We say this. We say it's evil. We say homosexuality is evil. We say transgenderism is evil. All this other stuff out there nowadays that they want to push onto us is perverted and it's evil, right? I mean, we're up to the point not just homosexuality is considered okay, but pedophilia. People want to make that one okay. Yeah, go check out the news. Go look it up. It's out there. Um, um, I mean, homosexuality just open. America coming into agreement, and many in the American church, by the way, they're saying this is okay and welcoming it in. That just that opened the door. That was the proverbial Pandora's box that opened the door for other sexual perversions to come in, and it's out there, right? It is out there. All right, people want to be able to marry animals. I mean, it's insane. People want to identify as an animal, right? If somebody identifies as a particular animal, right? Well, what's the logical next step then? The logical next step would be bestiality. You see where I'm going with this? And I'm not going to go into all the different sexual perversions that are actually out there right now. You can do that yourself, but I'm letting you know it's out there. Okay, I'm letting you know it's out there. So this agenda goes far beyond homosexuality. Okay, And you say, well, why are you so talking about this one sin, or the sin of, well, we'll just put it under the umbrella of sexual immorality. And if you want to know what that looks like, go read Leviticus chapters 18 and 20. God spells it out quite nicely there. Okay, he spells it out quite nicely there. We'll just put it under, so this sexual immorality, or as the Greek word porneia, if you want to call it that. So um so here so so let's see. First this is what Jesus says in Mark chapter 3 verse 25. And if a house is divided against itself, that house will not stand, right? So we decide, you know what, I don't need that place. I don't need that particular business. I can do without. Like the rest of my life I could go without it, right? There's nothing essential there, but you still choose to support it. You are a house divided. You yourself, you Christian, you are a house divided. Okay? Yes, any person who decides to do this. And the thing is that especially in America, okay, no one can claim ignorance of this stuff. It's out there in the news. I think everybody knows about it. Everything from, and this is not so I'm not being partial to any one thing here. So if I say boycott Target, then I would also say men boycott sports. Yeah. Okay. I'm just putting this out there. Right. But this is the stuff out there. So maybe I just said sports and you were like, whoa, you're going too far now. Okay, let me put this out there for you. Let me help educate you in case you just don't know. All right, I'll show grace to people out there. For instance, the NHL has Pride Night. Yeah, across all different areas, right? And of course, if you go search up the different, sports franchise, NFL, MLB, all that, right? You'll see that now they all have rainbow color stuff. So it's not just one team, but it's the organization itself. And by the way, I love hockey. Okay. I grew up in Connecticut, watching ice hockey up there, and I love it. I love baseball. Okay. I love the Boston Red Sox. That's my team. But the MLB and the Red Sox all do this pride junk. Okay. And you say, it's just sports. Right. But you can't watch them for free, can you? Let me ask you that. Like, unless you're absolutely stealing, which that's a whole different subject. If you're able to watch it for free, then you're just stealing and lying and cheating. Then you're just, but you're giving money, right? So say, well, just either, okay. Just trying to think of places out there off the top. ESPN Plus is one that I know of. Right, you give money to ESPN Plus. You say, oh, I'm just giving money to ESPN. What do you mean I'm giving money to the MLB? I'm just paying ESPN Plus. But ESPN Plus is given the rights, which they pay for, to air, right? And whatever, I don't care what platform you watch your sports on, but you're giving money to it. You get what I'm saying? It's not free, right? These companies, I don't know, DirecTV, if anybody ever has that anymore. Or any other cable company. I don't know, because I don't have TV anymore. What's out there. But the point being is it's not free for them. Okay, it's not free. That's why they have to charge you for what is it? NFL Sunday Ticket, I think. Right? You have to pay for that. Well, where is that money? Who's getting who's getting a portion of that money? The NFL. That's why you're paying for it. See what I'm saying? And I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be legalistic. This is not a gray area I'm talking about. Okay. And this is very serious business. This is not a matter of conscience. Okay. That's not what this is. Now you say, what do you mean by that? Well, hold on a second. I'll get to that. But let me just really drive home the seriousness of this. Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for he will either hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. Yes, you cannot serve God and money. So yes, I know Jesus is specifically addressing money in this issue, in this passage. I completely get that. Okay. However, the point still stands, and I can go elsewhere in the Bible to make my point. Right? Choose this day whom you will serve. Right? There's one. Okay. Uh, life and death. Yeah. Choose life or death. The blessings, the cursings. Right? Both of those I've just mentioned. One Joshua said, the other Moses said. So it's all throughout the Bible. Right? Dichotomies are all throughout the Bible. Light, dark, good, evil, pride, humility, all throughout the Bible. Okay? And you think I'm foolish. How many times, how often in the American church alone, for instance, right? Well, people complain about how long a sermon is, but they can go home and watch a 2-hour football game. Right? You can't people can't sit down to a 30-minute sermon, you know, heaven forbid the entire church service goes over an hour, but they could go home and watch a 3-hour game. Like, depending on what sport you're watching. The hypocrisy of that is astounding. And that is a prime example of being devoted to one, but despising the other, right? Where going to church becomes a check the block thing. Yes. Well, I went to church. I'm good. Okay, so I can go home and rush and catch the game on television. Now you're despising church, but you're certainly devoted to your sports. Yeah. And that could go for anything, by the way. Okay. This can go to devoted to a certain store. All right. How about Target? We'll pick Target right now. There's other places I could probably choose, but since they're the main ones in the news right now here in America, I'll choose them. Right? You're devoted to Target. You love their products. And by the way, let me admit, okay, Target has really quality clothing and quality shoes, especially for kids, by the way. So I've been there. I know. So I get it. Believe me. Okay. They have good products. Okay. But I'm not going to shop there anymore. Okay. I have a choice not to shop there. But you, Christian, knowing full well what they're about, what they openly support, what they overtly support, what, not only do they openly support it, but they're trying to push it and force it on you, right? Like open bathrooms. Oh, anybody can use their bathrooms. Doesn't matter. A man can walk into a woman's bathroom and use it because he says, I'm a woman, right? Okay. But you'll still go there because you like their products, or it's cleaner, or it's more organized, or whatever the case may be. So this can go for anything. I'm just throwing out examples, right? For this. But then what does it mean if you have a choice then not to do it, but you still do it? Because people will be like, well, what about this company and that company? What about all these other companies? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Well, normally when people talk about that stuff, anyway, they're just trying to sin. They're just trying to make an excuse and justification for sin when they say that. Wait, but let me play devil's advocate for a bit here. Okay? A good case could be made, for instance, for going to Target. I'm not saying it's legitimate, but I'm saying somebody could make a good case, right? Like I talked about. Well, if they got quality clothing and if I go over here, then my kids won't have really good clothes. Okay, I got that. I get it. You want to take care of your children. Okay. But you could always go somewhere else to buy it. You see what I'm saying is you don't need sports, right? We're not going to die without sports. Right? Believe me, I love baseball. I love hockey. I love rugby. We're not going to die, right? We don't need sports. We don't need Disney, for instance. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I going to die if I don't watch Disney Plus? right? If I don't catch the latest Star Wars stuff that they put out there, as a huge Star Wars fan, by the way, I love Star Wars. This is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. You probably didn't know that. I know it. Okay, I mean, I was 6 years old when my dad took me to see it, but just want you to know that I do actually love Star Wars overall. But I'm not going to die without it. I'm not going to die if I don't catch the latest season of The Mandalorian. Okay, or whatever else they're putting out now. Okay, I'm not going to. It's non-essential. In other words. Okay, or we have a choice, for instance, to go somewhere else to shop and buy our groceries. Okay, you have options wherever you're at. Wherever you're at, in the United States of America, you have different companies there. You might have Aldi, you might have Kroger running it. Here in Texas, we have HEB. Why all these companies that aren't trying to help and push this LGBTQ agenda on people. What I'm saying is, when you have a choice and you make the choice to still give money to them, guess what happens? You're compromised. You're living a compromised lifestyle. And you say, but the Bible says nothing about boycotting. Okay, I know it doesn't use those exact words, right? Well, the Bible doesn't exactly use the word Trinity, but we still use it. The Bible doesn't use the word rapture, but we still use it. Yeah, right. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly how fast we should drive. The Bible doesn't say how many times a day we should eat, but we all think it's 3 times a day. The Bible doesn't say how much water we should drink, but we know we need to drink water, right? We should be drinking a good amount of water a day. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly how many nutrients we should take in. I mean, we could go on with this ridiculous way of thinking, but the Bible does say exactly what we should avoid and what we should be a part of. We are not to be partakers of sexual immorality. We're not supposed to have anything to do with that type of stuff. Yes. It means we shouldn't be giving our money to it if we have a choice not to. It tells us exactly what we should do, how we should live our lives. Our lives should be glorifying God. Am I right or am I wrong about this? Right? The Bible is clear on that. Very clear. Right? My goodness. I mean, everything we should do. Right? 1 Corinthians 10:13. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Wait a minute. We're supposed to do everything we do to glorify God? And Paul says it elsewhere in the book of Colossians like that. Well, that means what? I can't watch any TV or movies ever? No, I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not getting that ridiculous. But let me ask you this. When it comes to the LGBTQ issues, is that going against God, yes or no? It's a simple answer. It's a yes or no question. Does it go against God or does it go against or not? Would God approve of it or not? Simple question. If God would never approve of it, then we should not approve of it. Period. So yeah, absolutely, we can watch television. We can watch movies. We can watch plenty of it. I watch television shows, but they're not going against God. God wouldn't be like, "Son, you're sinning by watching that." It's not about legalism. It's not about list of do's and don'ts. Just it's common sense. What does the Bible say? Okay, if the Bible speaks against it, avoid it. Yeah, pretty simple. What does avoidance look like? Of what we're talking about today and how we can help push back against the agenda. One is by boycotting, is avoiding it. You say, well, boycotting. Come on, really? I don't know about that. Well, it doesn't make any difference. Other people are going to do it. Well, that's just a pithy excuse, a very poor excuse to live in disobedience. Everybody else does it, so what's the point? Okay, because, well, what if you live in California? What if you live in San Francisco? Right, a vast number of people there are doing drugs. That means you should go stick a needle in your arm? No. Lots of people go out and get drunk all the time. Does that mean you should go out and get drunk? Absolutely not, right? Then you see how this mentality goes though? People just want to okay sin. They want to affirm sin in their own life. Or they want to get as close to sin as possible but still make it into heaven. Right? Which is of course the most backwards way of thinking for a professing Christian, period. So really it's irrelevant whether or not it has any effect. The point is, are we obedient to God or not? Is what it matters at the end of the day. But by the way, what I'm about to say, you can go look up on the internet if you don't know, but you may know more than me. But companies lately have been taking a loss of billions in dollars. Not a billion, right? Not $500,000 or $500 million, billions in dollars lately. Companies like Target, Netflix isn't a recent thing. It's not recent. And by the way, let me just highlight Netflix for a second. Okay, Christians decided to leave en masse on Netflix, and so I remember recently where Netflix, for instance, decided, okay, we're going to start charging more, and we're going to have to start putting ads in there, and then we're going to charge you more if you want to watch ad-free things. So, do you honestly think boycotting has no effect at all? People boycotted Netflix. They lost billions in revenue. Yeah. And now they had to completely restructure things. And which, by the way, causes more people to leave because people pay Netflix to watch ad free. They don't want to not have to pay extra to watch ad free things. So Budweiser, right? Or I'm sorry, Anheuser-Busch. I had Budweiser in my nose. Anheuser-Busch, yeah. The company behind Budweiser and Bud Light. A loss of billions of dollars in revenue. I mean, I just went to I had to go pick up some things last night, and I noticed in the beer section in the the Bud Light products are still chock and block full in the refrigerator. So nobody here. I want to say nobody, but very few people where I live in Texas are buying it. Right. We could go on and on about companies, but that's not the point. But I just wanted to highlight that just for those of you who think, well, boycotting is useless. No, not only that, but I know that Target decided to back off of pushing so hard on the LGBTQ agenda, and I saw that. I do know that, but it's irrelevant. Okay, the disciples of Jesus, the early church in the first century, lived in a very sinful society. Just take Rome itself. Okay, the actual capital, not the Roman Empire, but the Rome itself. I mean, talk about a sexually immoral, decadent, sinful society. And I've been to Rome, by the way. I mean, wow. I mean, we're talking about orgies. We're talking they would eat, at least the rich class, right? There was no middle class, by the way. So you were either rich and part of that class, or you were poor. So the rich class, right, would host parties and such, and gorge themselves on food and drink, and then they would go and throw up just so they could gorge themselves again, all in the same night. I mean, this was the Roman culture. This was the culture of Rome. Well, we had believers in Rome, yes, and believe you me, they were the minority. But that doesn't mean because they were minority and everybody was doing it, they participated in it, right? I mean, Paul wrote his letter to the church in Rome. Go read Romans. Nowhere in there does Paul ever excuse sin. I mean, right there, smack dab in Romans chapter 6, Paul talks about us not sinning, talks about us being different, talks about us being new creations and such, being raised to life. If that's you today, then you need to live like it, right? If at all possible, yes, you need to live like that wherever possible. I get that we have to have food as an essential, for instance. I get that we have to have electricity and water and gas and such, and we can't avoid giving money to utility companies, right? If they do support the LGBTQ agenda, for instance, right? We don't have a choice in the matter, right? We need heating, we need like I said, water, gas, all of that type of stuff, right? If you're like me here where I'm at in Texas, where it gets blisteringly hot, we need air conditioning. So point being is it's not about legalism, and I do understand that there are essentials in our life that we need. Yes, I get it. But there are a lot of things in life, or varying businesses. Let me say that there are varying businesses that we can absolutely 100% avoid, right? With no negative impact on our lives. Right? We're not going to lose the ability to buy food or cook food or drink water or what have you. Right. As for things, what about gray areas? Right. What about that? So what do you mean by, what do you say? What do I mean by a gray area? I'm talking about a matter of conscience, right? Right. We're not talking about um something that is a matter of conscience. We're talking about something that God in his holy word has much to say on. By the way, on a caveat real quick, if you want to know more about what the Bible has to say about this type of stuff, there's a sermon I preached, I taught on what does the Bible have to say about homosexuality. Okay. And I covered a little bit more than homosexuality in there, but that was the title. So if you want to know more about it, go on to my YouTube channel. So it's the quickest way to find it. Okay. Do it on an internet browser. Don't do it from the app. Do it from an internet browser, and you see a little magnifying glass, and search that in there. Okay, you can search the word in, I think, homosexuality, and it'll come up. Where you can search what does the Bible have to say about homosexuality. It'll come up for you, and you can watch it. And oh, by the way, those the notes that I did on that are absolutely free for you right there on my website. So if you go to the website, let's see, do I have it to put up here? I can't remember. Here we go. So if you go to the website, davidcmcguire.org, go to the homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see notes from sermons on there, all free for you to download. Okay, they're PDF documents. It's free for you to download. You can do that from your phone, by the way. I tested it out myself. I went to the website, clicked on the file, automatically downloaded for me. So that's good to know that it works. So if you want the sermon notes for that to use for you, to equip you, then go ahead and check it out. They're there for you. So there you go. So we're coming down to the end. Like I said, nobody looks like nobody had any questions on the subject. But I'll be more than happy to answer questions you have right now, or anybody who may disagree with me on the subject. But I'll let you know out there right now to the audience, right? I'm not going to stop talking on issues that matter to God. I don't care how many people hate it. I don't care how many people come against me for it. I mean, I love you no matter what. But I'm not going to stop talking about these things either. Okay, the truth is an offensive weapon these days. And let me just say that if you're going to try to come on and don't tell you what to do, I shouldn't be telling you what to do. You're telling me what to do by doing that. So if you tell somebody, don't tell me what to do, you're actually telling them what to do. Right? Same thing. Well, you must be affirming. You must be inclusive of me. Well, now you're being exclusive of me because I won't hold to your beliefs. So I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy of it to the audience out there, because sometimes we don't think of these things. And it's just the hypocrisy of it all. They want to be inclusive, but they want to exclude us because we don't believe in what they do. But they want us to include them while they don't believe what we do. See the sense. Um, Mr. Deckard asks here, if I have coworkers who are homosexuals and I am invited to a party, should I go? I don't know. It depends. I don't know. I don't know what kind of party. I mean, I don't know what kind of party you're talking. I mean, if it's a party, yeah, we shouldn't be partying as Christians, anyways. If it's a work a work function, why not? I mean, unless the agenda is um, a homosexual agenda, then which point you should not go. Right. Same thing with avoiding homosexual weddings. No, we as Christians should not go at all. It's no different. So yeah, it depends. Like I said, what's the agenda? If it's just a group of coworkers gathering together for a work function, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I see no problem in that whatsoever. Like I said, but it all depends on the context of it. So, like a homosexual wedding, for instance, is there's no other context to it. There's no other reason than to promote something that God deems as ungodly, right? We need to avoid it no matter what, no matter who it is getting married, a child, a family member of any kind. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was talking about a homosexual wedding. Yeah, absolutely avoid it at all costs. No, 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 no. No, no, because here's what it comes across as, that we affirm it. We're attending it. We're affirming it. So I wouldn't affirm it, but I have my reason. What if it's to spread the gospel? Well, I guarantee you're not going to spread the gospel there. I can 100,000% guarantee. And if you even try, you'll get kicked out. Okay, first and foremost. So no. Be careful. Sometimes appearances matter. You say no to them, tell them. Simple. You're a Christian, right? And according to God, okay, according to His holy word, um, we're supposed to avoid these things. We're supposed to. I can't go because what your marriage is not a marriage in God's eyes. Okay, and you're not going to attend. I don't know. That's one way to put it. You may be able to put it a different way than me, and that's fine. I was trying to give you some guidelines on that. Tell them it's against what God has to say. So be kind, be gentle. Don't have to be a jerk about it. So he said, "Hey, it goes against it. So unfortunately, I will be unable to attend." I see a question here. I don't know that word. You may have to. Maybe it's a. Um. Maybe it's a typo. So I don't know what vubchem is. Now, if you're asking, is homosexual sin worse than some other sins? Yeah. I mean, is it equal in the sense that all sin will separate you from God, and all sin sends a person to hell? Yeah, absolutely. But is all sin equal? No. God makes that abundantly clear in His Word. He uses different terminologies for things. He'll use the word abomination in reference to certain sins. So that's plural, not just sexual immorality. Yeah, God punished the nations. So Leviticus 18 and 20, that's how we know it's not just for the children of Israel. He punished them for it. Paul mentions it. He mentions that sexual immorality is worse than other sins because it pollutes the body. So yeah, it's up there. Sin. Now it's not the only sin like there. I mean, God calls in the book of Proverbs a lying tongue an abomination, right? Feet that go and speak to do. I know I'm going to quote it wrong, but feet that spread blood, go to spread blood, things like that. Bearing false witness, God calls an abomination. So these sins are worse than other sins according to God. Now you say, well, I don't believe that. Let me try it from. Let me apply common sense here. So if I go out there right now, if I go out after the show and I going out somewhere, and I decide I'm going to get Whataburger. Okay, I come home. My wife says, "Here's dinner," and I say, "You know what? Nah." I went out and actually decided to get Whataburger. Right? She's not gonna be exactly happy with me for it, but I'm not gonna be in the doghouse for it either. Right now, if I do the same thing, except I go out there and um, have sex with a woman who's not my wife, and I come home and I say, "Hey, honey, you know, sorry, but while I was out, yeah, I had sex with this other woman." I guarantee she's gonna have to go a completely different reaction to it. So yeah, exactly. Mr. Deckard also says destroys the unity between man and woman. Yeah, remember it's also um, remember that it destroys God's design for humanity, right? Like two men cannot have a baby, two women cannot have a baby. Right? We'll say, well, two women, and you want to say, well, not according to God's design, they won't. Um, yeah, Morg, you're right. You're absolutely right. That all sins are equal is idiotic. It's usually from that type of crowd who wants to excuse sin in their life, usually. So, all right then. So I don't see any other questions right now coming in. So let me remind you for tomorrow on Friday, I'm going to take your questions. Okay, I'm going to take your questions on the end times. So anything end times, anytime, any eschatological related, right? Fancy word for the end times, or eschatology, fancy word for study of the end times. So you got any questions on the rapture? Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe think a preacher rapture is true. Go by all means. Come on in. I'm not going to kick anybody away. Um, maybe you have a how do you think all this is going to work out? What about the tribulation? What about the Antichrist? Yada yada yada. Anything tomorrow, Friday. Your chance to ask those questions tomorrow. Okay. So go ahead and think up your questions right now. Go ahead, write them down if you have to, and you can be ready to ask them tomorrow. So be blessed, everybody. So glad that I could be with you once again. So look forward to it. Oh, by the way, yeah, any questions about you may have heard something. I heard this. Is this true? Okay, what about this? What about that? What about a physical temple? I mean, we could go all sorts of directions with the end times, all right? Just putting it out there. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget, real quickly, like I said, to hit that like button right now. Okay, hit it right now. Small little thing, less than a second to do, a big impact. It gets promoted out there for others to see, right? I probably get shadow banned for it. Hit that share button too. Even more important than the like button is to share this. So you can share it, but you can email people. Just throwing that out there. You can text message people. You can what do they call private message people on Facebook. Post it all over your social media. So please, free for you to do. Small, quick thing for you to do, but makes a big impact by getting this content out for everybody else to see. Okay, so that's it for today. God bless everybody. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.